champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne is the team that plays to win for you and me. So join in the chorus and sing it one and all. Join in the chorus, North Melbourne's on the ball. Good old North Melbourne, they're champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne is the team that plays to win for you and me.
Welcome back to the Shimboners podcast. I'm Baz. I've got the Big Chief next to me and Frog for an action-packed review after one of the all-time great comebacks of the North Melbourne Footy Club's history. What a performance last night, Good Friday. We finally lived up to the occasion. A huge comeback against the Carlton Football Club. Got the win. Frog, how are we? How are your first
Oh,
thoughts?
good. Well, winners are winners, aren't they? So how good is this? Been a long time coming, this Good Friday win.
Oh, it hasn't. When the Marvel Stadium was just the noise coming out of there was as loud as I've heard at a North game, and the people who have said there that were at the game said it was as loud as they've heard since the 2015 final series, Chief.
Wow. Yeah, very good. We won our grand final. Finally won it.
Yes.
Happy Easter, everyone. How good's footy? How good's the footy? Top four, baby.
Top four. All right, what's your biggest takeaway from yesterday's game?
Just a great comeback. Like, how often have we not been able to do that? It's going to fill the players with confidence. To come back when really we didn't look like we were going to. It was pretty somber in our lounge room watching it, wasn't it? For times there. And then, gee, lucky we didn't do the live stream.
Oh, the live stream would have broken. Oh,
Because how up and about were we at the end?
Very.
And Mrs. Baz sat there through it all. She doesn't normally watch it all with us, does she?
no, well, she needs to more.
She got front row seats to the Chief and Baz show.
Whenever-
We're up and about.
Whenever she watches, we tend to win.
Yeah.
More than not.
She should
Just-
watch every bloody
yeah,
game.
locking her down. She has to watch it now.
Nice.
Do you have a biggest takeaway from yesterday's
I
game?
think the buy-in from the whole team pressure is coming to fruition like we hoped it would. It's across every line. They're all doing the little 1%ers. I haven't seen a game of them doing that much for a long time from the whole lot. Top to bottom of the list, I reckon.
And
And
Darling.
especially with the big fella out, but everyone else was. I thought they did as best they could with that. Yeah.
Darling personified that
Yep.
with the Harry goal. We just kept the ball alive and kept chasing and pressuring, and it finally went our way. How good Harry with just a clutch goal at the end.
I will get to that, no doubt. Read the rundown, son. But my biggest takeaway is Angry Clarko's back, and it's brilliant to see. We've sort of speculated across the journey whether he still has that sort of anger and a good old-fashioned spray left in him, and we saw three-quarter time yesterday. He's given Colby a little jab in the guts and fired the boys up, and they've responded in the perfect way. So any speculation that he's lost the playing group can be thrown out because he set them the challenge to respond, and they certainly did.
Yep.
Right, let's go through the game. So the first note, we're pretty much spot on that Finn O'Sullivan went to his second cousin, Sam Walsh. Did a good job on him. The man who cops the North whipping boy, Caleb Daniel, what about his spoil on Jacob Weedering?
Yes. Fantastic. Giving away a foot and a half.
Yeah.
He had
It's a
some,
very clean spoil.
he had some really good
Yeah.
defensive efforts yesterday,
He's
didn't he?
starting to make a few doubters look a bit silly this year so far. His ball use is exceptional, really, when he's in the
Yeah.
right positions.
He had a couple of poor turnovers in
Yep.
that first quarter, but outside of that, fantastic. Cam Zerha, my man, another quiet day. He might feature a bit later on, but poor miss early. Like the second one, not too bad, like it's a hard shot, but that first one, you've just got to get that first goal on the board.
Yeah, well, we'll peel the curtain back a bit. We were watching at my house, and I got a phone call that I had to take right on the bloody as it started. So I'm in my kitchen, and I can hear you cheering and yes and all this. I thought, oh, this is good. And I did hear one boo or whatever. You're disappointed at something,
F-bomb.
maybe an F-bomb. And I thought, oh, well, I've heard more cheering. Come in, it's 8-2. I thought, what the hell's going on? And he said Cam's bloody missed goals that he should have kicked.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, that's just a bit of. I had my hopes up. We were going to be in the box seat and we were behind.
We were, but there was plenty to like in that first quarter. It was 3-1 to 3-2 at quarter time, so pretty even. I don't think we converted as well as we should have.
They had two
Uh,
posters as well.
yeah, I thought Jai Simpkin was busy early. He had a lot of clever tap-ons yesterday, Jai, and that's something
Yeah.
that's sort of missing a little bit from his game. I thought my man Zach Banger Bench, he was really busy early,
Yep.
zipping around. I love what he brings. We mentioned Daniel before, and we know that he's a good kick, but his chase down tackle and the footy IQ, I think it was Jagger Smith
Oh,
playing on from a
fantastic.
free
Yeah.
kick, just so clever. And then you want to talk a bit about Paul Curtis's brain fade because you were going ballistic.
What are they thinking? What are they thinking? It's been the
Yeah,
rule for
they're
what,
clearly not, are they?
20 years? Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I can question their effort. Sorry, I'm not questioning their effort, but I do question their mental capacity at times because that was just dumb. And I think we're the better of the play, and it just gives them a free shot at goal. And then Chom later in the game, we're probably going to get to.
Oh, you can talk about it now.
Well, he just got the free kick against and just puts the ball on the ground.
Yes.
But what are you thinking? Do the big quarterback pass as you're running back to fill the space or find your man. You can't just put it. He knew straight away
he
he'd done
knew
it, but
straight
it's
away.
50 metres goal.
Can't afford those sort of gifts, can we?
I wouldn't expect that. I'd expect that, I said to you, from an Irish player who's new to the game, like a Jim Steins type, who's all new to football. Like all these blokes have grown up playing football since the under 12s. They should know the rules.
We got smashed in clearance early. Pitney absolutely flogged CCJ for major parts of the day, but we had our chances. And well, I want to know your reaction for Tom Power when he missed that shot.
Oh, yeah.
When he out.
Yeah, when you watch it, it's horrible to watch the replays. It never seems as bad. But yeah, we just, between him and Cam missing those gettable ones, I think Parker, who had an awesome game, like overshot a kick or run to Larky. And he put his head, he knew straight away, Parker. But I think another thing they did was Colby had a lot of the ball and doesn't show up in meters, but he was trying to switch, like we've been saying. He was running, kicking it sideways a lot, but in a good way to try and switch it through the big cluster that Carlton had in the middle. So that was sort of affected his meters. Games don't look good, but he had a lot of the ball though, and he used it really well, I thought.
Yeah, he took them on.
Yeah.
They were right on his hammer and nail, run away and
Yeah.
down. So I thought he's going to get run down at some stage, cost us a goal, but they never caught
Well, there
it.
was one time, it might have been the next quarter, he was running backwards, but he said left,
Yeah.
right, and it took
They still had a bounce.
No one hardly ever does that.
No.
That was good composure.
That's all you want him to do.
Yeah.
Just take the game on. I loved it.
It was great. And one of my favourite moments from the first quarter might go unnoticed, but when Jack Darling kicked his goal, the bodywork from Zane Dersma to
Yes.
protect the space for JD, big tick there. Like that's the growth that we're seeing. And I'm glad Zane was able to reap the rewards from it later in the game because that team first mentality, that's the big area that he's grown in this year and he's starting to really impact.
Yep.
Yeah, and the good thing is, because of Trembath and now Zane hitting the scoreboard, we're not relying on Larky and Cam to do all the heavy lifting they've done for the best part of probably 8 years and PC. So if Cam's down a bit, we can still getting scored. Even Larky only kicked 2, I think, didn't he?
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah.
He only was okay, but that's the growth that which is handy, having a lot of options.
Yeah, and that's a great point you raised because like how often have Cam and sort of between the two of them kicked 3/4 of our goals.
Yeah,
And like
exactly
they both
right.
had poorer games for their standard yesterday. But a lot more avenues to goal.
Yeah, and it makes it hard because you quite often see Trembath, he seems to space himself well when he ran out of the ruck he played as a forward. And a couple of times he's just standing almost alone inside 50, and it's good that the players are using their vision and spotting him up and not just, where's Suv all the time. Yeah.
We'll move on to the second quarter and wasted opportunities highlights this with 2 goals 6. We kicked Carlton 3 goals 2, Chief, and wasted a lot of entries inside 50 as well as shots at goal.
Yeah. We didn't seem to have the connection with the forwards. And I think, speaking of Cam, I thought he interfered with other, like Trembaths, flying for balls, whereas he's probably been the number 2 for so many years. Where I think now he's probably got to learn. He's got Zane and Coop, who are high flyers than he is. Maybe he has to redefine his role a little bit. Do you agree? I thought a few times, I've watched the replay since he's jumped into packs where he didn't need to. Really, it is hard, and I'd rather him go for the ball than not.
Yeah.
But it's just a bit of. I mean, they're all new, like Zane and Cooper are fairly new to the forward line, so it's just a bit of connection between themselves. They've got to work out a bit. But maybe, I mean, Cam's now the fourth tall, if you like. So maybe he's just got to redefine his role and become a bit more of a crummer.
The other two are clearly better in the air.
Yeah.
They're over, especially Trembath. Well, it was Zane as well. They're both better at floating across the pack, but Cam will get there, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Get it back.
And he can still have his time one-on-one, but it's just flying in for that pack mark. Because Trembath's a fantastic mark.
Well, it was frustrating. We did that bump. I think I put it in the chat. He knocked that guy ball, but then he messed up the short kick to Darling, I think. But I mean, at least he's doing the other bit. He did the 1% and got rid of the player legally. Really good. That's what we like to see from Cam.
Yeah, the ground ball bump. Near the boundary.
Just probably needs to get a few more tackles, but sometimes they're not there. It's just timing with tackles, isn't it? But
I haven't watched the replay, but I'd take. Not yet. No, I've got parental duties. I
was up to bloody 1 o'clock in the morning.
I watched it this morning.
But I believe what you're saying, and something that let us down quite often. We didn't have enough at the foot of the pack either. Like
I think that's because they're all flying. That leaves, and normally the back line, if it's a bit of a slower play, they've got the spare there anyway. So it's hard to get the crumb because you're normally outnumbered. And then if you've got 3 flying against 1 or 2, when it comes to ground, you no chance really.
Someone whose game I want to highlight in general, but he's particularly second quarter, I thought he was immense, was Charlie Comben. Now, we've given him a bit of a spray for his brain fade, but he made up for it several times, particularly in that second quarter. Just the ultimate competitor, getting to contest, spoiling. I thought he did a fantastic job all day. I'll let you speak on it as he's one of your boys. How'd you find Chom's game?
I thought he was good. Apart from that 150 metre, I thought his effort was good. He did a pretty good job on Mackay. What did Mackay kick 2?
Yeah.
He outmarked him probably twice from memory.
I think so, yeah.
So he certainly he didn't get it off the leash, so to speak. And that effort where he had 3 efforts, got the hand in, and
that was brilliant.
Stripped the bloke basketball
goal, wasn't it?
And then got up and cleaned it up, got a good handball off. And I think that was not long after the 50. And we just had the dog walk in.
We apologise about that. The dog has come charging in, up and about as well after the Good Friday win.
Smashed through the door, wanted to be on the pod, and we said, no, you're outside. Bad luck.
So continue talking about Chom and his game yesterday.
I think I cover it. His 3 effort before you press pause. Yeah, so he was good, I thought. He's going to be close when it comes to the most prestigious.
He will. Any more notes from you there, Frog?
I think they mentioned on the commentary at one stage we had 14 inside 50s just for the 1 goal. So we'll at least be getting it in there. If you wind back to clock 2 or 3 years, it was not much ball going up that end of the ball for a while. So you got to look at that as at least it's getting it there. We're a chance to turn the corner and kick some goals.
Yeah, they were deep entries.
Yeah. I think the first half of Dylan Stevens, the last thing for me, I thought he was really good. Yep. He was everywhere, playing the top end talent that we know he can be, linking up on the wings and having pretty good use.
He gets a lot of metres gains, and his ball use is really good. His long kicks are really good, aren't they? Most of the time, he had a couple of forgettable moments, but I thought he's pretty solid. But
one in particular in that third quarter, one of my notes here, he just had an effort that he'd like to take back inside defensive 50.
Yeah.
But I thought he responded well, just looking to the fourth quarter, putting his head over it and getting some smothers in late in the game as well.
Oh,
but
yes. The whole smothering effort, you'll get to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It just really came up. When they came out with the tackle pressure, their pressure was through the roof in the third, which is why they outscored us.
Yeah.
But we matched them in the fourth. We took a Clarko bloody smack, didn't it?
It did. I thought the third quarter, our pressure, that's lifted and ours dropped off significantly. How do I go about this? I'm writing my notes here. I never want to see CCJ again.
Yeah.
He was just horrific and just lumbering around. Goad, I didn't watch as much as the VFL as you potentially, but I'd bring him in.
We'll talk about him later, maybe in the VFL. I watched a fair bit of it, 80% probably.
What have you got for the third quarter for us?
Oh, not a lot there really. Chom silly fifth. We've already been through that though, but the 3 efforts we're talking about that as well, so we've already covered that. Sorry.
Oh well, we're a happy winning.
Yeah, let's get up and about
now. It was the bit that Clarko was talking about where Colby let I didn't
Jagged
even
fan.
I didn't even see that happen. Why that happened later, saw this, so you see why Clarko had to go in, but that's just part of it. You got to concentrate the whole 100%, which is
Yeah.
sometimes not as easy as you think.
If you watch the replay, you can see it. I think Colby just went off to space to get the receive handball, which never came because Jagger got the ball and kicked a goal. So that's just a learning. You got to be defensive 101, don't you? When it's the ball's in dispute, deep in the forward line or the back line, their forward line.
So 3/4 time, we find ourselves 22 down. They mentioned on the 7 coverage that our biggest last quarter comeback against the Blues was 21. So we'd have to break a record to get it done. And the boys had that look in their eye. They're obviously just a bit of a cook and a challenge from Clarkson. In the last quarter, we kicked 7 goals, 3 to the Blues, 2 goals, 1. So what a last quarter.
How good.
And it was led by one man, and that was George Wardlaw. What a last quarter he put together, just bollocking through packs, throwing his body around, smothers, everything you can imagine he was doing, and what a performance from George.
The will to win, the ultimate competitor, just smashing in. Get out of my way. I'm winning the ball. Fantastic.
Anyone you want to speak about highlight? I thought Luke Parker, Frog. What do you think of
He
his
was
last
good.
quarter?
That kick he did was probably the best kick I've seen from an North player or pass.
Oh, yeah.
Since, I don't know when.
Probably
Daniel Wells.
Yeah.
Okay. That wouldn't have gone more than 100 and 6 foot off the ground all the way. On the replay, it looked even better when they showed the behind the goals. That's just to have the capacity to have a go at that kick.
And lace out.
If he gets it 1 meter wrong to the right, it's probably a turnover. But that's how you win games with someone like him. I can hit this kick. He was immense in that last quarter. A lot of them were. There was probably 20 good players really in that last quarter. But like I said, George was probably ahead of that pack. But and also Jack Darling late on. The other bit we'll probably get to even late along the wing, just getting the ball out of bounds, getting a stoppage, doing what X would have done if he was there. So that was really crucial. I know Cooper was taking the centre, but Darling was still doing around the ground, which is hard to do, especially even against Cripps, who he did burn him at one stage where they threw him out of the way and kicked a goal. I think
you missed it, didn't you? Parker, that kick that you mentioned to PC, we've had that much. We've been exposed to that many poor turnovers in the last few years. I thought he just kicked along the ground.
Well, I think
we're not used to seeing that sort of lace out.
That's what the commentators thought on the 7 commentary. They thought he'd munged it, came off the ankle and just skimmed it. Yeah, but it was a dart, span properly, and there were 4 Carlton players around him. So if he didn't hit it exactly, like it was going to be a turnover. And I think also Parker's positioning. He obviously played behind the ball. They mentioned that a lot on commentary. And Carlton couldn't get that quick springboard because you notice in the 3rd quarter we get the deep entries, well the whole game really, and quite often their scores have all come from that transition quick turnover where we weren't set up, behind the ball enough. The forward handball, they'd get out and be one-on-ones with a lot of space. Whereas Parker obviously positions really well behind, playing the Luke Hodge role, as they like to say, and you could see it in their eyes that they couldn't go fast because of him. So it's probably a lot of things off camera. I think he did well as that spectacular one on camera.
Yeah, and the experience really showed up late as well. We mentioned Daniel had one of his best games for the club, Darling with his moments that won't be on the stat sheet, Parker, and another experienced leader who I was probably overly harsh on in his first 3 weeks so far, and I love him. Well, my son's name's Jai as well, and that's Jai Simpkin. His last quarter, 6 score involvements, and obviously the ceiling goal as well. So I want to highlight how much he stood up in pivotal moments as well.
Yep, he was good. You were probably pushing the barrow for him to go on the list more than me, but those 2 no errors. Like he went on because of 2 really poor skill errors last week more than anything. But no, I can't remember him having a skill error, unforced skill error.
He had a great left foot kick into the corridor as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a couple other mids quickly. LDU, he stood up when the game mattered, and someone
the bouncing, that was the other one. But his first time he sprinted and he had 2 bounces and the second one didn't come back to him. But it is actually a difficult skill, running at full tilt with someone right on your hammer. But that was a bit of a typical North, wasn't it? Yeah. Like just typical North. But then he did it again though. Had the 2 bounces and
gave it to Harry.
Yeah, resulted
got
in
it
a goal. He
back.
handballed.
Yeah, that was the key play.
I think he snapped, and that was a darling.
Yeah.
Kept it in. Yeah, ended in the Harry goal. So well done, LDU. Yeah, I thought he stepped up.
Jai spin as well.
Oh, Jai, he did a couple of good spins. Like he gets that hard ball. Don't worry about that.
Oh, Jai was awesome
Yeah.
yesterday. And then he might be my new favourite player at the club. The last quarter, changing of angles with the footy, attacking through the corridor. Finn O'Sullivan, another
Yep.
complete game for him yesterday. Nullified Walsh and was everywhere. Foss, he's just a star,
Yeah,
isn't he?
we'll talk about him when we get to the most prestigious because he will feature.
I reckon. And then
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
I want to know, honesty time. What were your feelings at 3/4 time? How confident were you that we'd respond and
I
win the
wasn't
game?
very confident. I was confident we'd respond, but I wasn't confident we'd win the game. I thought we're going to have a crack, but we've seen a lot 22-point deficits turned into 60 previous years, but I didn't think it'd get that bad. But I just thought it'd be a bad loss, annoying loss, to be honest.
It was hard. I thought it'd be like wet toast.
Yeah.
The game where we came back, we won the last quarter. We hadn't won a quarter up until 3/4 time. They've won every quarter, haven't they?
Yep.
Narrowly, most of them, except for the third. I thought, yeah, we'll fight out, but is it a bridge too far? And then Trembath kicked the goal. Well, obviously, Wiedering went off. I thought that might help. And then they got the centre clearance and kicked the goal straight away from some bloody defender, Luke McDonald holding someone.
Yeah.
I don't know how bad that was because they didn't really show it on any of the
No.
replays. So whether it was just a very whistle, the old Curnow whistle came out, or whether it was just dumb, I don't know. But that hurt us, and then I think we got another goal and they answered straight back. So I thought it's going to be hard, but we did dominate that quarter. I don't know what the inside 50s and
I'm not
all
sure.
those stats were, but I think we're well ahead.
Well,
And it was just so pleasing, like 7 goals. What did we kick? 7-2?
Yeah,
something like that.
And I mean, poor old Tommy Bullamai's got the worst bounce ever. He was going straight through the middle and just bounced up.
Oh, yeah. That
Which-
looked home, that one.
He just needed the spin on
Yeah.
the end, didn't he? But anyway, that was unlucky. I thought, oh, here we go, typical North, just no luck. But so to answer your question, I wasn't that confident.
No, neither was I. I'm gonna give it a
You
shot.
should know because we were sitting in the same room.
Yeah, but it's not it's for the audience
Well,
out there.
When Kemp kicked that, I think it was their last goal in the square.
Mm.
It was 64-85, and it was 14 minutes to go. But that's when Trembath went into the ruck. So CJ had done it earlier in that quarter. A lot of people think Trembath did the whole quarter, but he didn't. And Trembath went in, and we won the clearance. I'm not sure who, but then Trembath moved forward, and that's when he kicked his third goal. So he lost the ruckman, or Darling swapped with him, or whatever, and that's when it's such a beautiful kick from that distance too. Doesn't
He
look
is.
like missing for
He's
someone
fine,
that
doesn't
some people thought couldn't kick last year. Don't know who they were watching, but
Yeah, I think they were the track watchers.
yeah, well, I think
That
the
VFL
VFL game missed a couple at Casey, but I reckon Lockett had struggled to kick Casey.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were long kicks from memory. I saw a bit of that game, so
Yeah, I think I watched a bit of that one too, and but the TV doesn't pick up how windy it is at those suburban grounds, especially Casey's. Notorious for it.
But we spoke about how confident we were at that stage at the 3/4 time. Well, when Harry had the ball, there was no one more confident in planet Earth than me. Well, you just knew he was going to kick it, didn't you? The star that he is. Little sidestep, straightened up, put us in front. And then there was still plenty of time for Carlton to respond.
oh yeah.
That had that free kick. Was it after the Harry goal? I got that shit free kick where Frankie Goggles Evans did the old duck,
Ducked
fell
into
down
it.
the duck and got the
Yeah.
free kick, and then
He kicked the point, didn't he?
Yeah.
But there was still 2 minutes to go, and it was in their forward line. That was a long 2 minutes.
Lived in their forward line
Yeah.
pretty much until Zane got that kick for space territory, and then PC turned it over when they had to come the corridor. So it just worked brilliantly.
in that last 2 minutes, though, we're bringing back this segment. We've been, it's our fault. We've forgotten about it, but the true shin boner of the week. I'll give it to you.
My boy, George Wardlaw, just the effort and the full length smother saved the game, and then the big tackle on Curnow,
Cripps.
Cripps. I've got the Curnow whistle in my head after saying that. Yeah, on Cripps, he's a lot bigger and stronger, but you tackle properly, and why wasn't that paid dropping the ball?
Well, Elmac was stinged for that a bit earlier.
Well,
but
that's something very similar.
Just going back a bit, the other one that was good too, I think Daniel hit PC with a really good kick, and then PC kicked the point. But then later he got back and kicked the huge one from just on 50. But got us within 1 point. So that was huge from PCR. If you're missing the other one, he thought, no, I can kick probably a harder goal.
Yeah.
That was really good. And even back to that one with Harry, I just wrote everyone that did something there. Cooper tapped it. Cripps tackled by George. This is for that goal. Then LDU got the clearance bounce. Harry, LDU kicks it. Darling keeps it in. PC did a tackle. Zane did a smother. Joy did that blind turn handball to Shees, with a sidestep, and Shees, the sidestep. But that was probably the best thing I've seen North, probably since that final a long time ago.
Yeah.
It seems. But that was. I was watching that again today. I was almost crying just watching it again this morning. That was so good.
Oh, when Harry kicked goal, I had tears in my eyes.
The crowd was absolutely nuts. I just wish I was there for that game.
Yeah,
I think I might go to Good Friday, but when you look at previous years, you think, oh, mate, don't bother. Anyway.
Would have been awesome to be there with the crowd.
And just chucking I don't know what I watched on Fox, the amount of ball ups, same historic, and it was at least 4. I don't know if that was the same on 7. Like they'd be showing a replay, and the ball ups in the bottom of the screen, and by the time they made it big screen, the ball's already bounced. So you don't even see one.
I think it's the same feed.
We didn't have that problem,
didn't we?
No, it was happened at least 3 or 4 times.
I will say
a replay of someone just doing nothing.
The commentary on Fox was a lot better because all the 7 commentators seemed to say was, "Oh, that should have been a free to Colin. That should have been."
Yeah, I heard
they said that a lot.
Yeah.
And maybe some of them should have been, but they didn't even seem to say it when we needed it.
And even JB, turn it up, JB.
Yeah, JB tries too hard to be non-biased.
Yeah,
I think. And
Fox was good. Harry was
going
good
the other
with
way.
special comments, and whoever else had in there, Hawkins, I think. Yeah.
But then we saw the sealer with Jai kicking that goal, and I've seen some videos on social media with the Titanic music playing over the top. And I tell you what, Marvel was pumping. The crowd was there, seeing all of you guys at the game who were there, jumping up and hugging each other, and it was magnificent. And we ended up with a brilliant comeback on Good Friday.
And his goal song, that just made it.
What was
Tell
it?
me about the Titanic.
Refresh me. What was
Sweet Caroline.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, how good. How good. Anyway, move on.
Right, let's get into
the most prestigious award in all of the AFL, the Bassie.
So for those who might be new, named after Ryan Bastanak, former Shimboner and Brisbane Lions player, but we don't care about that, who was our first guest on the pod.
That's why, yes. All right, I'll go first. 5. Big Coop, the ice bath, trim bath. How good? How good was he? Just stood up. It was. I will say this is the hardest Bassie I've ever done. Because there's lots of arguments. There's going to be some unlucky players. I thought he changed the game. We were not winning if he didn't go in the ruck. I'll stand on that hill to death. We won't talk. This is a good news segment, so we're not going to talk about why or who the other ruckman was. But he was awesome in there. His forward presence was good. He almost took about 4 more marks, which were sort of half spoiled by our players. Like he finished 3 straight. Is that what he kicked? I don't think I think he took all his opportunities in front of goal. He's just a big beast, isn't he? Like he's just awesome. Clunks the marks. That leap in the centre. I think when he went in, we started really winning the clearances. He was getting his hand to the ball, and if not, he's good at ground level, so he can be used at ground level.
I think it was a bit 50-50, but that's more on them working out something with the mids, him.
Yeah.
But I think he did flick a few backwards.
He did.
That was better.
But at least he was. Pitnet wasn't getting clear use and doing exactly what he wanted, and like it set up. It was like I said, it was a 50-50.
That's just more on whether Cripps gets it, I think.
Yeah,
he's hard to stop when he's going.
Yeah, we did. Cripps didn't get much in the first half. I think he only had 6 to half time or something.
No, but he was going to win it for him, except for George.
Right, number 4. I'll
There you
go. All right, Foss. His kicking and his ability to step through a little bit of traffic and then kick a long penetrating ball. Like it's long, it's fairly flat, it's still got your 50-55, and it gets to the forwards 1 out. It hasn't got much hang time. It's a bit of a dart and spins properly. Like it's a decent kick. It would be a good one to mark. And I just think he is fantastic. His ball use and his just calmness around the ball. 3 to George, ballistic George. We've talked about him enough, haven't we? I mean, 16 possessions.
No, you can't.
All right. Well, let's keep going. He's one of my boys. 16 possessions, I think.
Yep, 11 tackles.
11 tackles. Took over. We didn't miss X with him in there. Well, we did, but
that's his career.
Yep.
11 tackles, smashes in, wins balls he's not meant to. And how much game time?
64%.
I was going to guess 60. So that's a really good effort from. And the third quarter just got him up. Oh, sorry, the fourth quarter when the game was on the line.
Yeah.
He's the one who said, "Follow me, boys. I'm
Well,
right back."
have you got Will Hayward in the votes? Because him whacking George in the guts woke him up and unleashed the inner beast.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Two to Colby. I thought he was clearly best on ground at half time. Faded out a bit. And yeah, just we've spoken about him. He takes it on, changes angles, tries his best to open the game up for us, and his ball use was good. I can't remember him having any turnovers. And one to probably the most consistent player on the ground for us yesterday, Jill Stevens. Had a couple of moments. He had a massive smother in the last quarter.
The last 2 minutes.
Yep. Stopped them centering the ball. No doubt some little tip rat would have marked it on his chest. So the way we rose, I love the 1%ers, the smothers, the chase downs. Do it all the time. Like Smothers, I had a go. I'm getting negative now.
Well, hey, we'll save it for later.
Sorry, I've got to write it down because it annoyed me when people don't even attempt to smother, put their hands up. At least if it doesn't smother, it makes them kick it a bit higher.
Right.
Anyway,
My votes, I gave 5 to Foss. I thought I'll call you out on the Stevens thing. I thought he was a 4-quarter performer.
Yeah.
Foss, he had 21 disposals. He was brilliant. He kept Sam Walsh to 19 as well. So negating role on him.
Another scalp.
4 votes I gave to the man who created tremors through Marvel Stadium, if you like that pun. He kicked 3 goals, had 11 disposals, 11 hit-outs, and that is Cooper Trembath. You'd be hoping, you mentioned Frog.
4 tackles too.
You'd be hoping he's in the Rising Star nomination this week.
You think? They know he's eligible, do they?
Yeah, there'll be some Port Adelaide bloke. 16 kick
I'll
in.
give it to West Coast again.
Yeah.
Trifecta like they did to Sydney a couple of years ago.
3 votes I also gave to George Wardlaw. He's frenetic and changed the game. And just on the Smothers and Shepherds and stuff like that, the 1%ers, when we started to bring that into our game, Carlton couldn't touch us. That was brilliant. 2 votes I gave to Zane Dersma. Score involvements. Didn't quite get as many as I was hoping in the Baz's big call, but he kicked 3 goals too. And some of the stuff off the ball as well. He's a real barometer for us. He's lifting. So he got my 2 votes. And 1 vote I gave to the Golden Slipper, Harry Sheasel.
Yep.
Game-winning goal. Bit of Harry tax again. He had 24, kicked a goal, had 6 clearances, and stepped up when it mattered most.
Yep, like it. They were both unlucky not to get in line, those two. I think John was unlucky. Who else?
I've got Caleb Daniel.
Oh, Daniel.
He was
very
really
unlucky.
unlucky.
I thought he was good. Yeah.
Parker.
And he was
Yeah,
Parker as well. Yeah, it's nice to have lots of choices.
Instead of grasping at straws looking for
sometimes we've said plenty of times we get to 3 and it's just pick our favourite.
Another one, Jai Simpkin was very close to my.
Oh, Jai was good. Yep. All right.
Well, let's get to the leaderboard now.
Yes.
It's in previous years, it's been a bit of a front runner, but there's a massive log jam at the moment, which is good to see.
Yeah.
Not relying on too few to do too much. So Finn O'Sullivan, he's come from nowhere. He's in the lead now with 19 votes. Elwood Yu in second on 14, Parker on 13, Stevens on 11, and Nick Larkey on 10 to round out the top 5. Full votes will be on the socials if you're interested past there.
Okay, now we'll get to the list that no one wants to be on, the watch list. Right, Bailey Scott didn't do much in the VFL. We'll get to a VFL a bit later, but he's obviously you got to play well in the seniors to get off it. So Griff Logue is injured. Aiden Core, I hadn't thought about this. I'll let Frog. What do you think of Core's game?
He gave away a holding free.
Yep.
Didn't do anything wrong other than that, I think. Used it okay when he had it.
Nothing game.
Nothing going? I'll give him a dash. Although Fredo was sort of aiming for a tick. Oh, let's be nice. We won. Tick.
All right.
Look, when he gives away silly frees, it's really annoying. And
yes. I don't think he did anything wrong. And he's not down there to be a high possession player. He's just there to negate his man. Who did he play on?
I don't know. I don't know enough of their
Was
players.
it McGovern and Camp?
McGovern kicked a couple, but I'll give him a tick. He played his role in a win. Zach Fisher, he's running with the double rat's tails in the VFL.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? What's
Conor McDonald.
Anyway, play VFL. We can't get on. JK. I think he went all right in the VFL from the
Kicked a couple of goals.
Yes, but yeah, he did. Tommy Powell.
He graduated last week.
Yeah, he's not going back on, but he's off. Sorry, he's graduated.
Yeah, but he kicked a few up the chimney on
He's-
left
he-
foot yesterday. He didn't have a great game.
He obviously over celebrated graduating, and he had a little hangover. But you got to be down for a couple of weeks to get on. The selectors are off. I should put lines through this so I don't read them out and bore everyone. The North Lawyers, they're engraved. They didn't do enough to get non-engraved, so they're still on. Jai Simpkin, I'm giving a tick. Any disputing?
No way.
Right, okay. CCJ, oh, right, we're going to get to talk about him. The big zombie, he gets across. If anyone wants to argue with me, bring it on. No.
Crickets.
Crickets. Right, it's not competitive enough. He gets outbodied by Pitney, and I know Pitney is more experienced than Fredo. You said before the pod that he's a proper ruckman where he sees CJ's a hybrid. But he should be able to outjump him.
I'm not sure. I don't think he's got any vertical, though.
No, and he can't run.
I think you said in the preview, I thought he's not going to outjump anybody.
No,
Lucky to
but he should be able to. He's 25 or
Yeah, I know.
something.
He just hasn't got the vertical. You either got it or you haven't.
You'd outjump
Darling can't jump. It's sort of saying.
No, but he's
got a lot of
more
other things.
and
Yeah,
battered.
yeah. But,
Anyway, it's a massive cross. I can't see him getting off because I'll be surprised if he gets picked. He's not getting picked in my team next week, but we can discuss that now or later.
Discuss that on a preview pod, but I agree with what your comments.
Right, okay. What else did he... He was the one who was coming out of the back line, or our forward line, sorry, and he was forward, and they just kicked over his head. Didn't even put his arms up to try and smother it. You don't have to jump. You don't have to have any ability at all to put your arms up and try and smother it.
he did.
I will say-
They did a good smother in the last.
Yes.
He smothered it and gave it to Harry.
Yes, and he did a couple of nice things
Yeah.
in the last, but it's not enough.
No, he
No.
didn't impact enough, but his effort wasn't too bad, I thought.
And
And you need more than that.
And the fact that the only way, when we were coming back and we were 9 down, or whatever it was in the last quarter, I said to you, they better not have, we must have kicked a goal. They better be Trembath in the ruck, and it was. Because we just did not look like extracting it well with him in there. Because Pitney could do what he wanted, and it was up to our mids to shark it or stop it. And then in the boundary throw-ins, he was caught behind all the time. And he can't reach over. Like, we now know he can't jump. At least get in front. I mean, I know they can get pushed under, but you're half a chance of getting some sort of free kick or plant your feet, learn some craft.
The
I
first
think
goal
Monkey's got his work cut out
Yeah.
with him.
wouldn't matter if we had Goldie there teaching him. The first goal that Carlton kicked from Pitney, he was just too slow to get to the contest, so he just grabbed his arm.
Yeah.
And it was there. The free kick was there.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
complaining about the free. It was just unfit or
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just didn't read it properly to throw in without a throw in or just
That was a
the
ball up.
ball up. Yeah, too far off it. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the VFL, Frog. You got a bit of a waffle story about one of our players in the VFL.
Well, he's not in the VFL yet, but yeah, I do park run every Saturday, and as I said, recognise this guy's face. Oh, Lockie Brewer's down there doing a 5K last week. He wasn't there today, but he's there last week, so obviously doing his mini pre-season or for football. I don't know what else he's up to, but yeah.
Category B rookie
Category
for those
B
who might
rookie,
not be
right.
across.
Yeah, long-sussing boy.
Yeah.
Did he...
Oh, he beat me.
Did he?
About 5 minutes there. So I hope so.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, that's a good sign. All
It was
right.
about 20 minutes, I think he did it.
No, did he?
Like that.
All right,
Yeah.
nice.
Let's talk a little bit
When
about
do you
the
think he's
VFL.
coming into the VFL?
I don't know.
Don't know. I'm surprised. I said to you when you told me, you said we should be able to play in the VFL. Well, they had the buy.
I would assume he'd have to do
it.
some sort of a conditioning block for AFL
Yeah,
and all
no
that
doubt.
sort of stuff.
No doubt.
That'll be you would have got an 18-month deal, surely. It wouldn't be just for the 10 weeks of this year,
Yeah.
back end or whatever.
Yeah.
Free hit, we'll like it, category.
How do he look? Big, fit,
Oh, it's
tall?
tall.
Just like a basketball build.
Yeah,
So he
yeah.
needs to put a bit of
Didn't
size
really-
on,
I
maybe.
didn't actually know it was him until later on I saw his name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that guy I saw that looked like Lockie Brewer. It actually was him.
I don't think Frog said stop here so I can look at you.
They
He's
did
gonna
stalk him.
Yeah.
Pull his eyes
Oh,
up, give him a
didn't
physical
Yeah.
on the side of Park Run.
Wasn't going to mean for you catching him, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Well, what about the VFL?
Well, that's integrated in our listener.
Okay,
questions.
okay.
Let's get into our listeners.
Best part of the pod.
It is. Thanks, everyone. We've got it flooded with questions once again.
And before you start, all the comments we read. You reply to them all. Well, we read them all and we love them.
We do.
So keep the comments coming.
Especially on YouTube. We get like 70 plus an episode. So if you're not
Just-
subscribed, please do. I think we're 20 short
Oh,
of the-
almost
of the-
made it.
of the 1,000. So thanks to everyone who continues to, and we'll have a couple of giveaways when we get to 1,000. So make sure you jumped on for that. Andy Locke, we'll start on Facebook because I always read them last, so
Yeah,
we get a
okay.
bit left out. He says, criminal that Trembath wasn't on an AFL list until late last year. Glad he's ours. Bench was great. Good shout, Baz. My question is, where's my lid? Flew off after the Sheasel goal and haven't seen it since. I love it. Steve says, we miss Sherry's pressure in the centre clearance. Felt every time. Trembath went in, we had an advantage. CCJ not up to it. Is Goad straight in next week? And does he share the duties with Trembath?
Yes.
So this sort of ties into our VFL chat.
Yeah.
Bailey Goad.
I'd say no. I'd say Dawson.
Yeah, but Dawson got injured. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
but
he's
we
injured.
don't know.
It-
I think he got
Was it
knee
Corky,
in the
wasn't it?
bum. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah, I think it's
Dawson's
the
fit,
Corky.
I'd go.
Oh, so would I.
Goad didn't look up to it to me because he's getting wrecked in the centre. Because the other guy, I don't know if he was crossing your line a bit, they'd collide and go to just bounce off.
Yeah. Which is
I
what
don't even know who the ruck was for them.
that,
but
was, that Lockie, but
and-
Lockie Reed, is it? What's his name? They got him from Freo.
Oh, Liam Reedy.
and
Yeah, Reedy.
he's probably going to need another run. But
Mm.
I'll bring him in. I don't doesn't.
No,
faze me if they
I
bring him
agree
in,
with
but,
you.
and Dawson can be flexible and probably go back and
If
help
there's
chop
an
out a
injury,
defence,
yeah.
get to the thing, or even go forward.
Dawson was good in the ruck. He went off. I missed what injury he got, but I saw him limping off. And then someone commented it was a hammy, but the way he limped, it looked more
Looked like he got a foot right.
looked like a corky.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the injury. And obviously, we won't get updated for a couple of days. But if he's right to play, definitely play him. I thought he looked good in the ruck
Yeah.
and better than Gary's got a lot of ruck craft
Yep.
to learn. But I still think he's an upgrade on CCJ
Oh, yeah.
if you had to pick
Oh,
one
yeah.
or the other because he's at least got that explosiveness round the ball.
And Dawson's got a bit aggro when there's balls loose too. Controlled,
Yeah.
pretty controlled. Like the tackle. That's what's big.
I think-
little mini X.
I think Guy's got to learn the craft and use his
Yeah.
height. He's
Yeah.
206, 207. He's just got to learn to use his height better in the ruck.
Dawson, the VFL coach, was interviewed at 3/4 time and he said he got a knock to the hammy.
Yeah.
So that's positive
Yeah,
that it's just a corky and they
Yeah.
might have sat him out thinking he'll be in next week.
Yeah.
Done. So
definitely.
Clarko might have been on the phone. Declan Joseph says, could you find in your hearts to give Jai 3 ticks straight up off the watch list for the vibe of the Sealer alone?
Oh,
It's
cool.
not quite how it works,
No.
but
You have to look at the watch list rule book.
Yeah,
if there is one.
There is. It was probably a little unlucky to go on, but he's on now, so he needs 3.
speaking of the watch list, on the fly, there was a bloke whose name was almost on. Are you putting him on this week? The number 44?
Oh yeah. Well, you wanted him on.
I think,
Well,
well,
throwing you under the bus. Well, we've gone out of that segment.
all right, so he's got 1 week.
He's
to
got a
respond.
week to respond.
His last quarter was good.
Yeah, and I think his
race-
first quarter was good, except he didn't take his chances.
Right, Jared Lane, is this our best win since the Essendon elimination final?
Well, I think the next week we beat Geelong, but that was more a hold on. Essendon was a comeback win. This was a comeback win. So
Richmond 2015 elimination final was a comeback win. That was better than yesterday,
okay,
but
yeah. That's pretty good.
it's our best win since 2016.
It's our
I'll
best,
give you that.
it's the
Or
best win
15.
ever on Good Friday.
Yeah.
It was the best home and away win then.
Yeah.
Forgetting those finals.
Yeah,
for a
finals
good
are
while.
always better to win, especially if you eliminate someone like Essendon and Geelong.
Agree. Nathan on Facebook. 2 questions, boys. Did you like seeing Clarko ruffle up Colby? Personally, I loved it. An angry Clarko. Obviously, it sent a message to the group. Anyone have an issue with it?
No, and neither did Colby. They interviewed him on
Fox.
Yeah, I saw
So they
that.
talk all week, all the time.
Yeah.
It gets on. They won't phase him.
The second question here is, would you drop Zerha and or Powell after that effort? Set a standard now. Their games weren't good enough.
Who's coming in?
Yeah, I think people are too obsessed with dropping people after wins as well as losses. They wanted, like last week, said people wanted to drop 4 players. Well, you're not all going to be contending for BOG. And like, who comes in? Exactly right.
I think the only one getting dropped is CCJ that off the top of my head.
Cam
I'll have a deeper look in during the week for the preview, but
needs to live. The pressure will come there. And Braden George kicking 4 1/4, but I don't think he did a great
He
deal
don't
after
think
that.
saw him after that.
Yeah. He needs a good run at it in the
I
two
forgot to
games.
mention then twos. Yeah, 4.25. And what about he kicked one from inside the square? Didn't
Yeah.
he? Oh, it was massive because he's a great kid.
He's our boy. He was our first ever man that we
Yeah.
got around.
Yeah, he kicked that 60, I'd say.
Yeah.
Again, what it went through. And I said, I was watching it with Mrs. Frog and said, he'll kick this. Bam.
Yeah, I was confident.
Yeah.
It's funny how with some
you
places
think-
you're just
you think
confident.
He's got a beautiful technique.
Lots of comments here about Zach Banch's game and the upside that he shows.
Yep.
I thought he was great. Just that miss, it would have been the cherry on top if he had
Yeah.
to kick that goal, but I'd stick with him.
Oh, he was good. I think his first possession he fumbled, but he didn't. He got it and cleaned his own act up at the same time,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Yep.
Lots of comments here about George, but I'll read this one out. Is from Andrew. Is George Wardlaw not given enough credit for his first, second, third efforts and 1%ers as a game changer? I
Well,
think externally he's not given enough
Yeah.
credit, but he certainly is internally and
Yeah.
on the from North fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know who a couple of the commentators rate him, especially like the
Like Gary Lyon,
yeah, like
basically.
Cameron Mooney's, those sort of types. They know, and those sort of players
The footballers know.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
makes a difference with a lowish possession game. He turns,
Yeah.
Stoney. Now, if there's ever a comment that'll be positive, it's usually
Yeah.
from him. So I love reading his out, and especially after a win. He says, tonight showed we're not coming because of the result, but because we did it with no X, minimum influence from Bull, PC, and even Suv, and a defense lacking real stars. Our depth of talent and collaborative performance is getting results. Now the self-confidence and opportunity will start to propel us further. We are 3-1. How good is that?
Now good.
First time in 10 years. We
Yeah.
started 3-1.
Yeah, I think it's just going to give them all such confidence that they're actually a reasonable team. I mean, we've beaten no one really, but we've beaten who we had to. I mean, I'll wet toast aside, but we showed what we're capable of in that game and came back. Well, got a healthy lead, then came back when we gave it up. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we've played 4 teams and we've been competitive. We've beaten 3 and we've been competitive in the other one.
Well, if you had to choose a lot, you'd pick West Coast away.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
those-
right.
oh, that- oh,
yeah. And
How
39
good is it
degree
to finally
heat.
beat Essendon and Carlton.
Yeah.
Like on Carlton on the big day.
Yeah, I agree.
And get rid of the Port hoodoo,
Yeah.
and it's in our patch. So
Well, after the West Coast game, I said I'll forgive that loss if we're
Yeah,
4-2 after round 6.
Yeah.
So the opportunity's there. We're 3-1. Got to win one out of the next 2.
Yeah.
geez, we'll be up and about if we beat Brisbane. Don't you worry. Mitch Lord says, could Trembath possibly be our best player? Turn the game coming into the ruck in the last. Not to mention another perfect 3 from him.
Well, gave him 5. So
Well, he's,
he could be.
I was trying to think who would you compare him to. But there's not really anyone that comes to mind. It's kind of Corey McKernan in that he's not. McKernan wasn't a great rucking end, but he was good going in there for patches. But around the ground, he was a leader.
Yeah.
He's obviously great forward. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
any
that's
thoughts
a good,
there? I don't
that's a
know.
good shout for a North player. Probably
Yeah,
Corey
but I don't want
McKernan.
to look at other teams.
He's not as tall, obviously,
No.
but he's
But he was, even Corey played a bit undersized against some of the rucks, but he
Yeah.
was relying on his leap and athleticism and could
No,
definitely go forward and kick his.
he
30,
read
40.
behind the ruck role.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the rucks used to be the old kick behind play,
Yeah.
extra backman sort of thing, just rack up the ball, Gary Dempsey style, long kicks, and he'd be outnumbered, whereas Corey ran forward and got dangerous.
Well, Brady, you'd want to get that contract written up pretty quick.
Yeah.
You've done a great job the last 2 or 3 years, but you'll be on the watch list if you don't get him signed up pretty quick. We'll
Yeah,
go.
definitely.
We'll have a couple of, so far, mid-season draft picks in the same one. The Trembath was picked 13th or something, wasn't he? And
Yeah.
Banch was 3 or whatever it was. That's looking really good.
Yeah.
That's just a throw at the dartboard, to be honest, isn't it? Fill up a list spot for a few months.
Yeah. Let's go to Instagram. Max says the breakout game, big Nostradamus chief predicted for Zane? Question mark. Is that the breakout game for Zane? You predicted?
Oh, I think so. He was really good. Like he
Back-to-back
was in your votes, back-to-back votes, wasn't he, for you? And it was very close to mine. It was very hard to get that 2-1. But I went with Colby and then Stevens but kick 3-2 as a deep forward, pretty bloody good.
Bloody oath.
And he took their best backman out
Adam,
accidentally.
yeah, it changed the game.
Well, it was a couple of inches off
Didn't hurt.
4 because that banana was a pretty good kick on the
Yeah.
floor, wasn't it? So
And that was, yeah.
Adam Somu says, felt the belief in the air all the way from France. The Shinboner spirit is real. Luke Parker spear pass to PC, a kick for the ages.
Yep.
Footy gods are smiling. Yeah, unheard of. Like we said a bit earlier, I thought he kicked along the ground. You're not used to saying
I think he meant
North
it.
players.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
yeah.
he didn't. I'm just saying
No.
we're used to
Yes.
as fans seeing the ball kicked along the ground when it's that low. I love this from Dave. This might be my favourite comment so far. Wardlaw plays like a starving tiger in a chook pen.
Yeah.
That is
Love
brilliant.
it. Love it.
Dave also says, was CCJ dragged for the fourth? Didn't really spot him for much of it, and suddenly we start winning.
He had a lot of bench time.
Actually, he was on at the start.
Yeah,
then.
but he wasn't dragged, but
No.
he had a lot. He probably spent half the quarter on the
Oh,
bench.
easily.
Obviously,
Yeah.
when Trent Barth was
He
doing
came
the run.
on right again at the end. But that was right at the end.
But can you just look up the stats? The hitouts for Trent Barth versus CCJ.
Oh,
Trent Barth was 11 and
Trent-
CJ was about 5.
Six.
Yeah, I thought I did look at it last night. I wanted to get it right for our listeners.
Right, let's
Pitting
fire
at
through
about
these
40.
because there's some brilliant
Okay.
ones.
Something like that.
Joe Philpott, Jesus died for our sins, Wardlaw smothered for our wins. That's one of the all-time
I love it.
great things.
I love it.
RJ's got a big shin boner
Yeah.
tonight. That's
Our listeners are fantastic.
Yeah, this is good.
They bring it every week.
Rory, we bloody deserve that as supporters. Enjoy it, one and all. Lulu says George had twice as many tackles as the next best Roo. That's unreal,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Especially in the shorter game time.
Yeah.
And their tackles, they're not just, I've got my hands on him and
they're
proper tackles.
Johnny says, how long do we realistically sign up CT47 for? Surely it's 3 years minimum. I'd be 5. I'm giving him 5.
I'll give him 5. Well, he's shown enough.
Yeah.
I know 5's long, but he's young enough. Depends what his manager wants, really, but it'd be 3 minimum.
It comes down to
Yeah. Well, I think now you've got to oversign,
Yeah.
or over length or overpay. Well, we can afford to pay him whatever he wants, pretty much.
17 goals in his first 7 games, more than all the Buddy. There was a big list of players who's kicked more goals in his first 7 games.
yeah.
Well, it's like PC. As soon as you saw him play, you knew he had something. You knew it. You knew he'd be good. And you see the same with Tremba.
Well, he's a unicorn,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, you can play him anywhere because he can definitely go down back as well.
Yeah.
There's a reason Nick Larkey calls him Trembanyana. Like a play on Victor Wembanyama from the San Antonio Spurs. George says, are we finally starting to believe? Yes, we are, and it's great to see. Bianca says, darling, footy smarts around the ground are amazing. Thoughts?
Yeah.
100%. He's 1%. There's no stats for tap-ons. Just everything. His footy IQ. And it's good that he took the hit to going back to the very field, just comes back and does all those little things all over again, doesn't try and get goals and stuff.
I like the fact he's really, well, I don't want to jinx him, but he's really safe when he's having a shot.
Yeah.
Set shot. He's very reliable.
Well, between him, Trembarth and Larkey, we've got
Yeah.
3 of the best,
Yeah.
probably Zane as well.
Yeah, Zane's been
4 of
good.
the best set shots in the league.
Yeah.
Right, let's fire through someone X because we want to read as many as we can because you guys have done a great job here. The George, Tom and Harry show. Does the line to apologise to Jai reach Tassie? He just keeps turning up.
Yes.
I agree. I'll
good.
happily put up, and then I was probably a bit overly harsh because we know how good he could be. And I'm not a Jai hater. I love Jai. I've defended him to the hills and was so pleased to see him seal the game yesterday.
What I liked most, other than kicking the goal to seal it, how happy was he?
Yeah.
He was just so that all of them, but him particularly.
Yeah, it was. That was so good that he got that one at the end.
Dill says, this is one of my mates, so just stay tuned.
this
Who
is the-
comes back in? Who makes way for Constanti next week? He's a JK lover. Wow. He looked all right in the twos.
He did.
Well, they said on the coverage he was playing a more attacking role. Like he's obviously got the defensive stuff nailed down. But what did he kick 2, you
I
reckon?
think, yeah.
Yeah, and he looked
2 in about 3 minutes.
He looked more attacking. He was in good position. So, but I think Banger's safe for another week,
I think
No, it
so.
has to be. I really enjoyed his.
or not
Yeah.
just a week. But
Yeah.
he's not coming out.
Rude tragic. Will King George be our next Norm Smith medalist? Question mark.
Oh, I hope so.
He's built for the North Smith.
Uh,
That was our grand final.
Oh, bloody oath it was. Rebel Kings, who do you guys see as our next captain? Foss or Sheasel? Well, poor Silv's only done it for 4 games. But I think Foss has got a lot of, both lads have a lot of leadership about them.
Yeah,
We're in good hands.
I think Larky's doing a really good job with that too. I think he's actually improved as a player just a little bit. He's doing all the right things, and his interviewing's 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I think.
And I think they're all behind him as well.
Al says, just rewatch the last quarter, total of 7 smothers. There's effort.
Yeah,
that's exactly right, Al.
That's what I've been banging on for 3 years on this pod, and for a lot longer just watching.
Andrew says, effort was there, and that's all we can ask for. How did you guys view Zach Banch's game? Well, we've spoken a lot about Banch.
He's good.
Big fan.
He's one of your men.
He is. Big fan of what he brings.
Yep.
Yeah, he's only played 5 games.
Yeah. North Nuffy, fantastic win. Finally broke the curse. Does Powell and Zerhard go on the watch list? Well, Powell only just graduated.
Yeah.
And he needs to play a couple of bad ones.
It's got to be a body of work, which is probably again.
He had a couple of bad misses or something in forward line, but he also did a lot. He did a lot of good in a lot of change through the midfield with good possessions. He's a good user.
He wasn't horrendous.
Yeah.
But Powell.
No, I don't think so either. And we've spoken about Cam before, so we'll move on. Brent Westwick. Westy, we met at Platform 28 last week.
That's right, we did too.
He says, why did we wait 3 quarters to play an attacking brand of footy? We knew Carlton don't like speed on the ball, and we continued to play that way for 3 quarters. Super frustrating.
Well, I think we were going it in too deep. Well, not too deep, but and then no one could quite clunk a mark because we had 3 of ours flying for it and 2 of theirs, and then they just clean it up, and then they were actually able to use the speed on the ball coming out.
And they blocked.
We didn't get a lot of crumbs, did we?
No, and they blocked up the midfield a bit. You saw us trying to switch, and you can't. It's not just easy just to run through everyone.
No.
Unless you're Cozzy Pickett.
And if you turn the ball over by foot, it's probably going to be a goal.
Yeah, and we were. I think Parker and Colby and Daniel all probably had a turnover each. But they're trying to cut it in the middle, so you don't mind that if they're trying to take the going on. I think it's better than just the howler out in the full or something.
And there's fatigue comes into it as well in the last quarter. The game always opens up a bit in the last quarter.
Right, well, that's all the listener questions.
Right.
Thank you very much to everyone who sent them in. And I want to, before we wrap up the pod, I want to give a big shout out to number 34, one of our former premiership players, David King, who got to enjoy a frothy or probably 12 last night.
He's still be out, Kingy. I got a little waffle story for you. Back, I don't know when did Kingy retire? From about
2006 or something.
Yeah, it was probably not long after that. Let's just say 2008. I was out in Hobart, down at Salamanca Way, where all the nightclubs and the bars are, and who's walking along drinking the Crownie? David King. He had a few. Let me just say, he was doing all right, not doing anything wrong, but it wasn't his first beer for the night.
He loves it.
He loves it,
and I'm so glad we got it done for him.
I'll tell you what. Let's go back. If we started the origins, if we backdated the CCC, he'd be in there. There'd be no debate. He'd be straight in. I loved him. Loved him as a player, and loved listening to him on. What's he on? SEN Fireball.
Fireball
It'd
first
be a big CC club in the 90s, that's for sure.
I know. Well, it's getting bigger now, which is nice, but I want to make it hard to get into, but if they bang the door down like George, they're coming straight. George was an inaugural, of course.
I'll just say to the people love the CCC, and I'll tell you what, number 47's on.
I know.
He might bend up on both shirts.
Yeah, he's definitely on the radar. I'm going to have to get a bigger shirt.
He certainly will. Right, that's just about us.
No, this is just listen to these names: George Wardlaw, Harry Sheasel, Colby McKercher, Zane, Cooper Trimbath, Finn O'Sullivan, all probably in the top 6 or 8 players yesterday. They're our youngest 6 players in the team.
Yeah, nice.
So just think about that, where that's going to take us. So none of them are yet 22.
Oh.
And how many will get in the AFL best under 22 side?
That doesn't count like Doverston, Will Dawson. This is players actually in the team and playing really well. All of those 6.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
The
lot to
future's
look
looking
forward
good.
to, because the top end is probably a bit the other way, but with the age demographic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very exciting.
Right, that's just about us. Thank you guys for tuning in and following the show. We really appreciate it. Leave your comments. We love to read them and have a good chat with you guys after. We'll be back to preview a big game, a big test against the Brizzy Lions, who we drew with last year down in Hobart, as we play them in Gather Round next. Big test to come up. But enjoy the weekend. The Easter long weekend's phenomenal when
Oh,
you win on Good
How good's
Friday.
footy? How good's footy?
Go and watch
That's
the
like the
football.
90s, wasn't it, Frog?
Yeah, go
Win
to
on
the last
Friday
one
night,
again.
party all weekend.
Yeah.
It was bloody good. Look forward to the next challenge. All right. Well, in the Barossa, Kingy might be off the beers by then. Have a wine.
Yeah.
If we beat Brisbane. All right. We're finishing.
We're
Till
up.
next
Yeah.
time. Thanks for listening. Kangas!
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Until next time, go Roos!